When I was in high school, I drove a really junker car, primer gray, and it was a Mustang 2, which was kind of considered the Pinto of the Mustangs. And I used to park it all the way in the back of the parking lot, far away from like the nicer vehicles. And I always kind of thought, like, yeah, what's the big deal? But in reality, I was hiding, trying to not stay visible with that part of my life. So I ask you right now, what are you hiding? Where are you parking way in the back so nobody else sees it? Hey, listen, follow me for more. I've got an upcoming book coming out called Say Yes to Yourself. Talk to you soon. When I was in high school, I was an athlete, and everybody knew that I was also a breakdancer. See, that was a cool one. I was athletic, and people accepted that. But what I hid was that I actually trained in dance also. I was afraid of being judged by them, something maybe they didn't understand. So where in your life are you keeping quiet? You playing small so that people don't judge you? I'd love for you to leave it in the comments so I can read them and respond. Follow me for more. So my junior year in high school, a ballet company came and we had a assembly, and they did a small performance, and then they did some demonstrations where they actually brought up a couple of the really strong elite football players we had. And they demonstrated a couple lifts, and then they had the football players lift the girls. And the football players were able to do it, but it looked a little bit more of a struggle. They were almost like they were lifting weights at the weight room. So I thought, okay, maybe now's the time I can start telling people that this is what I do. I've been lifting the girls in class for years. But instead, later that day, I heard, a couple of not so nice comments, let's just say, about the male ballet dancer. So instead of earning respect by showing them these athletic, difficult things he could do, he still got made fun of. And I'll tell you what, I kept quiet about it. I didn't stick up for him or say anything. I kind of kept quiet. So where in your life are you keeping quiet about something that's important? And maybe it's time to start letting those go. One time in high school, I told a classmate I was going to go watch a dance showcase. And it was somewhat true. I was going to be there. I was going to watch some of it, but I was also going to perform in it. But I edited what I said because I was afraid of some judgment. And now every time you edit yourself, you kind of abandon who you really are. So where in your life are you telling maybe a partial truth, editing yourself? When I was 12 years old, I used to get woken up about 2:30 a.m. to run a morning paper route. We delivered about 2,000 to 3,000 papers in the Kansas City, Missouri area. And I'll tell you, in the winter times, my hands would freeze. It was brutal. But it taught me something invaluable. See, the truck, it never stopped, no matter how inconvenient it was or how much you were suffering. And it's kind of like life doesn't stop. So somehow you've got to find your way. Have that positive inner voice that gets you through those problems.